Rusame, and today I will be reading to you from Sticky Notes and Trinkets by RainbowStar_772. That's me! Now, on to Chapter 7. Rule number 4, put a bell on the cutie. Russia hummed to himself, walking with Cuba back to the locker room. America was walking in front of them. America was attractive. He averted his gaze from America, not wanting to stare at the other too much, knowing very well that his friend was extremely willing to call him out for staring at America's ass. As soon as they were in the locker room, he watched as America went off into one of the bathroom stalls. The other wasn't comfortable with anyone seeing his body, which was understandable. But he disagreed. America was hot and cute. He should be a bit more confident with himself and in his body. But what did he know? People were assholes, and so America probably had some reasons. He got himself changed and took his bag out of his locker. He waved goodbye to Cuba as he walked out of the locker room and made his way back to the main building, taking out another sticky note and writing down, "You're beautiful," on it, before considering writing his name as well, but ultimately decided against it. He'd already fucked up really bad with America, and America might take it as sarcastic if he did. He hid himself and waited for America to come by his own locker. Then he could see America's reaction. He wanted to see if the note made America feel better. He certainly hoped it would. He watched as America came to his locker and then gently pull it off and read it. He noticed that America blushed a little and smiled, holding the sticky note against his chest. After a moment, he saw America re-stick the sticky note to his locker and pull out his binder. He then watched as America opened it and stuck the sticky note on the inside of it. Russia smiled a little and looked away from America, deciding to head to his next class. Soon, he reached the classroom of his next class, which was AP Chemistry, if he remembered correctly. As he walked towards the classroom, he found that he was trailing behind America. He doubted that they shared this one too. How in the world would the two of them share all of their classes? He shook it off and continued toward the classroom. He turned into the classroom, taking a seat in the classroom. He looked over, only to find that damned adorable shorty. He'd be damned. He shared all of his classes with America. That meant America was definitely extremely smart, as all of their classes, aside from gym, were advanced placement, college-level classes. America was cute and smart. God, he wished he hadn't fucked up so badly. He hoped that maybe, eventually, America could forgive him. He wished that a chance could come with that, though he doubted he'd even get one after how bad his first impression had been. He sighed a little as their class started. Their teacher wasn't present. Instead of seeing the tall older man that he'd met during orientation, he saw a kind-looking older woman of color. She walked around the room with an attendance sheet, seeming to hand out little packets of paper to each student. She got to him, checked him off before continuing. Her voice had been quiet and kind. After she'd left him, he started to fill out the packet of papers, which was a lot of stuff that he thought was really simple. He was a little under halfway through by the time he was snapped out of his thoughts by a fake cough and the woman starting to speak. "Hello, I am your substitute. My name is Miss Smothers. If you have any questions or need any help, your teacher, Mr. Reinhardt, left me with the answer key to the packets. Come check your work when you're done with it," she said, before taking a seat again. Russia looked over and watched as America started to write. The other seemed to be halfway through with one of the pages. So it was clear he hadn't been the only one with the idea of starting early. He smiled a little before getting back to his own work. He found himself working through it pretty quickly. Once he was done, he did a quick check over his own work to see if he thought he'd done it correctly. Once he was content, he went over to where he had seen the answer sheet be placed and carefully went over his answers, finding that he'd correctly answered as he thought he had. He then went back to his seat, only to find that America was right behind him. Jesus Christ, the cutie was silent. He'd have to put a bell on him if he was always this quiet. He thought it in jest. Honestly, he'd be happy to learn to live with the quiet of America's steps, though he wondered how the others' parents dealt with it, or if they had fostered that habit. He didn't know, nor want to know. He kept an eye on America for a second before making his way back to his seat at the back of the classroom. By the time he got there, he looked over to look at America, who was still checking his answers against the sheet. He wasn't doing so for long, though. He noticed that the other just walked back to his spot, which was apparently a few spots away from him. Once again, he noticed that he couldn't hear America's footsteps, which he found very odd. He hid his phone under his desk, texting to ask Cuba if he'd noticed that America's footsteps were just absent. He then remembered that Cuba's phone had been taken, and he let out a little groan, knowing that he wouldn't get an answer for a while. He looked around, trying to decide how he should distract himself from the rest of the time. He wasn't nearly tired enough to nap. America seemed aware of when people were looking at him, and he couldn't draw for shit. He sighed a little, looking back at the note that America had responded to, and smiled. The little drawing America had done of himself was absolutely adorable. It didn't make him any less confused by the little ponytail America had given himself, but it was still cute. He wouldn't lie. But he didn't understand why America had drawn it on himself. He tucked the note away after admiring the drawing that America had left, and the other's neat handwriting. He tucked the note away carefully. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow.